His name was Lu Ban, born around 507 BC, into a family of carpenters in ancient China. By the time he died, he wasn't just famous, he was worshipped. Temples were built in his name. To this day, builders across China, Korea, and Vietnam still burn incense to him before laying a single brick. He's credited with shaping tools every carpenter still recognizes: the saw, the plane, the carpenter's square. But here's what the temples don't tell you. The same square that built China's greatest halls was also the blueprint for something else, a way to bind misfortune directly into the bones of a house. In old China, hiring a carpenter wasn't like hiring a contractor today. You were inviting a man into your home who, if you crossed him, had centuries of folklore on his side, telling him exactly how to make you regret it. And you'd have no way of knowing until it was already too late. And according to the legend, Lu Ban didn't just inspire that fear. He proved it could be done on an entire kingdom. Long before this became something ordinary carpenters used against difficult clients, the story says Lu Ban cursed someone himself, and it worked. Several old Chinese accounts describe Lu Ban's father borrowing his son's flying wooden kite to search for Lu Ban's missing sister. He didn't know how to fly it properly. He crash-landed in the rival state of Wu, was captured, and when he refused to rebuild the kite for his captors, they killed him. Lu Ban's response wasn't a lawsuit. It was a curse. He carved a wooden figure, pointed its hand toward Wu, and a legend says the entire kingdom was struck by a drought that lasted 3 years, until Wu's rulers finally worked out who'd done it, sent gifts to apologize, and Lu Ban cut the wooden hand clean off. The rain came back the same day. That's the part that should actually worry you. Lu Ban wasn't some rogue practitioner abusing forbidden knowledge. He was the founder, the patron saint, the most respected craftsman in Chinese history. And even he was willing to starve an entire kingdom over one death in his family. Some retellings go further, claiming the carpenters who later studied his darker techniques paid for that power themselves and their own families. The price of the curse always landed somewhere. And once word of that got around, it's no wonder that, centuries later, even an emperor wasn't sleeping easy in his own newly built hall. The year is 1375. Emperor Hongwu, founder of the Ming Dynasty, a man who clawed his way from peasant to ruler of all China, is sitting inside a hall that had just been completed. And according to the old accounts, he hears something, scratching, shifting, coming from directly above his head, from inside the roof of a building that had only just been finished. If you're the most powerful man in China, and your own brand new roof is making noise no one can explain, you don't shrug it off. You investigate, because the fear everyone in the palace jumped to immediately was that somewhere in that build, a carpenter hadn't been treated fairly, and had left something behind to make sure the emperor knew it. We don't have one clean, verified record of exactly what was found that day. What we do have is centuries of writers recording the story anyway, copying it down generation after generation because it kept terrifying people enough to retell. If it could happen in the emperor's own hall, built by hand-picked imperial craftsmen, what makes your house any different? Because by then, cursing a house wasn't improvised anymore. There was an actual system for it. It's called the Lu Ban Jing, the Carpenter's Canon, compiled sometime in the 1400s. On the surface, it's a builder's manual. How to measure a door, which direction a house should face, when to raise the roof beam. But buried inside are instructions for something darker. Loaded dice, hidden inside a wall, said to slowly turn an honest homeowner into a gambling addict. A small wooden boat, buried upside down at the north corner of a property, meant to drown someone in that household. Talismans said to guarantee a family would never have a son to carry their name. Others meant to turn a husband and wife against each other for no reason at all, until the marriage simply collapsed. And in the worst versions of the legend, crying, wailing at night, with no source anyone could ever find. All of it hidden in places no homeowner would think to check. Inside a doorframe, under a roof beam, behind a wall that wouldn't be opened again for 100 years. Quick a check before we keep going. If hidden curses built into real houses are messing with you the way they messed with me researching this, Drop a comment with the creepiest thing you've ever found in an old house. Now, here's where this stops being a 600-year-old story. Walk into renovation forums in China or Taiwan today, and the same story repeats decade after decade, in old houses being torn down or remodeled. Workers pulling apart a 100-year-old roof beam and finding a bundle of human hair tied with red thread. Bent nails arranged into a shape nobody recognizes. A paper talisman folded tight with a family's name written upside down, sealed somewhere that hadn't been opened since the house was built. And almost every time, the family living there tells you the same thing afterward. That's exactly when things started going wrong. The illness that came out of nowhere. The divorce nobody saw coming. A streak of bad luck that didn't make sense until someone finally found what had been hidden inside their own walls the entire time. Is it real? Or just bad luck wrapped in 6 centuries of the perfect story to explain it? That's for you to decide. But the legend has survived this long for a reason. Because here's the twist almost nobody talks about. The same book that taught the curse also taught the cure. The Lu Ban Jing isn't only a weapon. Most of it is the opposite. Instructions for blessing a house, not breaking it. Auspicious measurements for doors and beams. The correct direction for a home to face. Rituals performed the moment the roof beam goes up, meant to bring the family inside long life, healthy children, lasting prosperity. Same carpenter, same tools, same square. The only thing that changed the outcome was intention. Whether the man you let into your home walked away feeling respected or feeling cheated. That's the part of this legend that's almost scarier than the curse itself. The danger was never really the wood, or the talisman, or the dice hidden in the wall. The danger was sitting across the table from someone with the power to shape your family's future and deciding he wasn't worth paying fairly. And that's really what this whole story has been about 600 years later. Strip away the ghosts and talismans, and the Lu Ban curse is one of the oldest warnings in the world, just dressed up as folk horror. Every culture that's dependent on skilled labor has needed some way to say, treat the people who build your life with respect, or eventually, what they built will turn on you. China just wrote that warning into wood, hammered it into beams, and let it haunt houses for 6 centuries instead of putting it in a contract. So the next time you walk into a beautifully built home, old or new, it's worth wondering, who actually built this? Were they paid what they were worth? Because if even one of them walked away feeling cheated, the story says he didn't need a spell to ruin you. He just needed a hammer, a little patience, and 100 years for nobody to ever think to check what was hiding behind the wall.